Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Market at 300 or 540 billion, still in limbo, still in between the 5 and the 600 range, poking a little bit below the 5, a little bit above the 6 every once in a while. I just call it the news limbo. Like I said yesterday, there's this lid. The people are looking for the news. That's all it is. So Bitcoin's still at 11,000. Ethereum is surprisingly holding well at 1,000. Ethereum went absolutely parabolic, and to hold that 1,000 mark is very impressive. And Ripple's been weird. It'll just make these 20% gains out of nowhere, and then it'll just go down when the rest of the coins go up. But it's funny. I'm gonna go because I'm talking about the coins that I'm interested in. My interest has peaked in EOS, BitShares, and I'm still on the fence with Steemit. I think BitShares has gone up. That's the funny thing about my channel. I only talk about coins that I'm interested in or invested in. I do that so much that I actually make a disclaimer when I'm not invested in a coin. I'll say, all right, I'm telling you guys, I'm not invested in this coin. I'm looking at it. I make that just because I don't want that on my rep if I'm not actually invested in it. So I'm only talking about coins I'm invested in. I don't all this other riffraff. Man, it's that feeling you get when, because I bought a nice chunk of BitShares. I threw some spears. I had some lures hit. I was going to war with BitShares. It was not budging. At all. And yeah, I was getting it all done in here. Threw a spear somewhere up in here. The thing about BitShares is I'm not quite sure. I think they can have another lull. I definitely think it can have another dip. I think it can dip below 30 cents. I think it can get down to 20 cents if there's a crash. The thing about BitShares is nothing too exciting until what happens with EOS. There's a lot of time still in between. The cool thing is Crypto Bridge, all these decentralized exchanges are starting to be built onto BitShares. The one crazy thing about BitShares that people underestimate is the here we go. BitCNY, BitUSD. Now, if there's any big deal with Tether, anything happens with Tether, especially with the, obviously with the BitUSD, when these type of coins right here get mass adopted, if you were to throw BitCNY on Binance or something big like that, like if people really started to use it, I noticed that the 24-hour volume is almost as high as the market cap. A lot of people are using this. It can be easily become a stable standard of value that people flock to. This requires twice the amount of BitShares to lock up to back it. It's very important. It means a lot. It's the ultimate form of HODL. That supply of BitShares can get sucked up really easily by proxy of just this, BitCNY and BitUSD. Those two alone could make BitShares an absolute powerhouse. Then you go on to the fact that they can have decentralized exchanges. Yes, I'm excited when I find new coins. I like to talk about them. Why am I? I'm still getting on to what the market. I have a lot of it. One of the sentiments is, it's funny, there will be good coins, right? And people say, hey man, what are you looking for? What do you look for in a coin? And I say, well, I like a coin that has high price memory. That means it's been really highly priced at one time, and now it's very low. Because like muscle memory, price memory there's a reason. People always look for it to reach that new, get back to the all-time high. It creates this kind of this structure almost. It's always good, in my opinion, to have a coin that has high price memory. That's been up there. Remember, Amazon started at 100, went down to 7, had that price memory, right? To go from 100 to 7 is fucking terrible. It's terrible. And then it shot up to 600, right? So I believe in the price memory. I also believe in having a working product. It's very big in my book. I'll touch on that. The reason I love a working product, because a lot of these things, people don't even know what's going to happen, if it's even going to work. So I like to be able to test the product. I have 3 things that I look for in a coin. And if the coin meets it, that's great. Very rare that all 3 are going to be met, though. It's usually 2 out of 3. Can't, and it's a strong 2, right? You have one that's so strong, it's almost like having all 3. And I like to find the coins that are not on big exchanges. Right now, it's like the little leagues when you're on a small exchange. And you always get that pay jump, that liquidity jump when you get onto a Binance, when you get onto a KuCoin, when you get onto some of these more up-and-coming popular exchanges of Bittrex. Although Bittrex has been getting low lately. I saw at one point Cryptopia had like 124 and Bittrex had like 250, so they were close at one point. Bittrex is falling. A lot of these other ones. And I think Binance is going to start to fall later towards the end of the year with regulations, and these decentralized exchanges are going to rule. But that's. But getting back to it, I like them not being on a big exchange. So if they have high price memory and they're low price now, they have a working product and they're not on a big exchange. I've made a few exceptions with the non-working product. One of them was MyBit. The reason I took the swing on MyBit was because I knew the team, I knew they were going to fight tooth and nail no matter what. I knew they had the funds they needed to get the product out there, to bring in investors and awareness, make connections out there hustling. And the demand for green energy is so big, for affordable green energy. People are just overlooking MyBit for the fact that this brings green energy to the hands of everyone. Anyone can get a solar panel now through MyBit. I think it's going to be absolutely massive. I think it's going to be massive by force. It's kind of like storm shelters aren't hip until the storm comes. And then everyone wants in your fucking storm shelter by proxy of it being a storm shelter. I think everyone's going to flock to MyBit by force. People are going to need green energy. 10 years from now, 5 years from now, I mean, the weather's not getting better. There's the worst hurricanes, the worst tornadoes in history going on in the last 5 years. It's only going to get worse. The pollution's only going to get worse. People, the need for green energy and crowdfunding platforms is going to be an all-time high, especially when more and more people start losing their jobs. I think MyBit's just going to be by proxy. The door is going to be beat down in the storm shelter when people need these affordable green. People are looking at all these other coins that can do the same thing, but MyBit was the first, and they have a completely unique way of doing it. The low supply. I think there could be 20 MyBits out there, 20 different versions, and they'd all still pop by virtue of you can have 20 grocery stores in a city and they all make money because people need food. I think people are going to need this, just access to green energy. One of my ultimate ones, and everyone knows, is No Limit Coin. I think that this fits the perfect bill if you think about what I'm looking for in a coin. I've been with No Limit Coin all the way down here through thick and thin. All right. So I have a different investing mentality. A lot of people are investing, day trading. That's fine. I always the only person that I know that has similar investment values is Warren Buffett, the way he does it. He'll go in, find a company that he is either on its behind heels that he thinks he can bring back to life, or one that hasn't even been given life and he gives it life. That's how I feel. And he just rides. He's a long term. I'm not worried about the swings. I find a company that I think I could bring tremendous value in, and I just ride it for the long haul. Through thick and thin, through the ups, through the downs, it doesn't matter. It's funny, I don't know, I love my girlfriend, obviously, but I don't like her all the time, right? I don't like her every day. She might do something that annoys me, right? She might say, hey, it's time to go, and I stop what I'm doing, and I have to wait 5 minutes. And that boils my blood, right? And I'll do things that she doesn't like sometimes, right? Like I'll have a wet towel and I throw it in a hamper and then it mildews. But the thing is, we love each other. Those little bumps in the road aren't going to stop the greater good. And that's how I feel with my investments and everything in life. It's like, you're not always going to like your crypto, your investments. It doesn't matter. You're not always going to like them. But if you fall in love with them, if you commit to them, then you're never going to miss out. And I always add to it, right? Through the ups, through the downs. I'm still adding value. It doesn't matter. All that wishy-washy, all that day-to-day doesn't matter if you have your eyes on the long goal and you built that foundation that's uncrackable. And I'm setting up big swings. You know, OnG just got on Cryptopius. It's a very hard to get on exchange. And it's the first regulated Japanese exchange. The thing about OnG that people don't realize is it's a real company. Delaware-based, licensed. They have a $20 million eval. They're one of the first regulated cryptos. Like, yeah, you're going to have your cryptos that are unregulated, that are just going to become either illegal or black street, dark alley. But then you also have your ones that are regulated. What's the thing that's cool about it? It can be regulated, but no one has access to your data. It's just like a Facebook that doesn't control your data. No one can see it. No government, no anyone. No one can see your data. And they're going to be introducing privacy features. So it's going to be basically like you can send your messages privately. You can send files encrypted end to end. It's going to be, it's going to be pretty amazing. It's going to be like kind of like having an Obsidian built in where you have all this private messaging, your Facebook data, it can't be leaked or stolen. Just that's one of the things I look at OnG kind of like a MyBit. It's like people are just going to flock to it by proxy. People are going to be tired of the government stealing their data, and they're going to have this platform where they can come to private messaging. Your data is not stolen. They're going to have fake news bounties. A lot of cool things with OnG. And Cryptopius is just a doorstep, a very, very nice exchange when it comes to showing reputation. When other exchanges see that you're on Cryptopius, they know that that's a hard to get on one. Like, you can't be like you can't be some illegal shitcoin that has no kind of anything, right? They want to. That's what's going to help OnG get into bigger exchanges. But it's new. If you look at the market cap, high price memory, just very low market cap. I'm setting myself up for the future, right? Like, I think No Limit Coin could be the future of fantasy sports. I think OnG could be the future of, at least the Facebook. I think Facebook's wide open. I think Facebook's like a 50-year-old boxer on its last heels that's had one too many punches. And now it's just kind of, it's just leaking and spilling out. Every day I see people bitching about, YouTube, that YouTube is demonetizing. Facebook is stealing. It's become slow with all the ads. It's just become so ridiculous. If you're sending a message on Facebook, you might as well be sending it on a public forum. Just keep that in mind. All your messages on Facebook, you might as well be posting them on a public forum because they're there for people to see at any time, forever. Doesn't go away, right? They store that shit. So it's just very, I don't know. I think these are very, very under. And then, of course, I have my upper crusties that I stay diversified in. I'm a Bitcoin. When I say Bitcoin, I have Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, right? I keep both of them. And, I like Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I'm also a Neo EOS guy. I like Neo. I like EOS. I'm not saying any of these other ones. I'm still on the fence with Steam. Of course, BitShares jumped. It pisses me off a little bit. I knew I should have thrown another spear, but, I'm going to keep the lowers down. Let that fish go. Steam, I'm just going to be studying hardcore. I don't know why I'm so on the fence with Steam. I've been buying more steadily just because. But anytime I'm that hardcore on the fence, I'm just going to jump in, usually. And that's kind of what's happening. It's like, fuck it, The Steam tokens, there's two. I'll get into that next episode, actually, because there's probably a lot to go into. I've been researching a lot. But, yeah, I'm going to keep this one a little bit short. Cheers. Peace.